Thank you so very much, Zeke, for breaking that down for us right there. And like we said, this is the final game of day one here in the EU Opens. It's been a long and grueling day for our European competitors, but it's not for nothing because these players are looking like they are fresher than ever. That top 10 leaderboard in its own clay is something to marvel at.
It is the best of the best of the best players here in the European region. I am A, surprised, and B, not surprised at where we're seeing some of these players, right? It's the big names. We've got Benji, Mongraal, Savage, Clement, Teak, Letwick moved on up there as well. Rezon, the story of today is coming into this is submitting that book. He says, you know what? Hey, I'm closing that as shots coming through here for Benji. Oh, it's the elimination. But Rezon says, you know what? Hey, I no longer want to be looked at as just the guy that does all right. He wins a Mongraal Cup, a Creator Cup. I want to be the one that says, you know, hey, I won the first week of FNCS, or the first day of FNCS qualifiers.
He can very well do that. All he has to do is bide his time and make it to the end game and inch away, crack away at the iceberg for the points here. Remember, 60 points is about a 15-point lead, I believe, over the placement of second place, which is around 45 or 46 or so there. So think about the lead that he has. He's already done it before. The buffer showing that he can hold first even if he falls. But if he stays alive, I think there's no looking back for anyone. You would need a victory royale at this point if you want to overcome him. So Rezon has absolutely arrived as a competitor in the EU region, and I think he's here to stay.
Definitely here to stay. Someone who is here to submit their games as well is Clement. He's got to be careful, right? Seventor is right nearby looking for the ambush. This is not someone that's looking to sit here and just farm on up. Seventor is waiting. He knows someone is going to rotate into this house, and he's got that shotgun out. You see him aim in there. That ADS came through, and Clement, I think, unfortunately, may fall here as he's not paying much attention. He didn't even see him there. The shots come through, so now Seventor does go on the offensive. The shots not connecting there. The edit going to come through. He does get that cone off. Shots coming through. Clement is in a bad spot. This is never somewhere you want to be as an individual. A shockwave or crash pad is going to come on through. The double beam there from Seventor. And I think, unfortunately, Clement may go down here as he's trying to run away for his life.
This can quite literally be a qualifying engagement for Seventor. This is a massive battle. The implications here means that he could potentially push his way into top 50 and hold Clement out. This is the last game, ladies and gentlemen. Every single battle at this point matters. This is your position on the line here. So for Seventor to find another point so early in the game, that is absolutely massive right now. And we're seeing Seventor off to a great start.
And we're being told we have a very, very, very interesting replay that we have to take a look at. As we swap over, you are going to see Mr. Savage here on your screen at the yacht. You know, everybody says spam this cabbage to help Mr. Savage. We'll see if it does help. The shots don't connect there, and he just gets eliminated there with the SMG spray. So unfortunately, falling early.
Massive drop right there from Mr. Savage, but don't worry. I think with how much point buffer he's managed to gain this time around, he is safe to say he'll be in that top 10 or somewhere very close by it. So valiant effort and a great run for Mr. Savage, but his run ends here. Someone who is still in the game, though, it's Rezon right now, looking to continue to lay down the landscape, lay down the roadmap to his success here. So far, it's been at Holly Hedges. Such a weird, unorthodox spot. I don't think we've seen any champions come out of this portion of the map ever, right, in this season, this Chapter 2 season. So with that, I mean, it's kind of cool to see new places, new players find their opportunities in their shot, right, thriving up the food chain. Typically, it's the key locations, right, like the retail row or one of the mythic drop spots.
I'll be honest. The other day I tweeted out that Holly Hedges is my least favorite drop spot because I don't think it has good loot. And Rezon showing that, hey, like, you're just looting it wrong. I'm coming out with amazing loot and making it work. So, you know, I'm changing minds here today. Rezon also just, you know, it didn't even seem like it mattered what loot he had. He was just going to play very, very well. Speaking of great loot choices, Benji has a very, very hard one here to make. Is going to go for the big pot over the crash, or the chug splashes or the peppers there, as he does pop one. If you look at the mini map there, There's not much to see, but there's nobody around him, and that's what's good for Benji. He doesn't have to worry about being way too aggressive early game.
That's right. That can be the downfall. Bala was leaning into the conversation itself there as well. Chasing can sometimes be your downfall in general. You can't force the elims to come to you. That's when you get punished most. Remember, it's players that go on offense that expose themselves and the weaknesses get cracked out there. So we continue to pull on through here. And oh my gosh, Nate with the monstrous hunting rifle shot. Quick on the reaction on the draw there. Without a single inch of hesitation, he's going to find a massive elimination. That's his 33rd point. And now rounding out his entire loadout to look nice and epic, quite literally here with the RPG, the shotgun, and the pistol.
Actually gonna change it out. He's going for that burst rifle. Doesn't want the pistol, though it's a very, very great item to have if you have that epic or legendary variant. Nate chooses, you know what, that AR just gonna be more beneficial. See how it plays out there for him. Is again, Rezon looking very good, but another level. Only 2 players are averaged more than 4 elims in a game in a round 2. Rezon is averaging over 4 eliminations in the game and the finals. And now this is so big because I talked about his DreamHack performance where he did not have this. He was just, I just didn't see it from him. But now coming out of it, he's just playing so well.
And I would love to know who's the other player. Who is the other player that has had such a performance like this? Because Reason is on a tear of his own. And I mean, I called it in that last endgame. I said he was on an Arkham champion-esque style run because he was literally laying down history. It looked like he was on just a completely different level. You can see why. And I mean, he makes lemonade with the lemons. Look at his loot from Holly Hedges. As you mentioned, it's really not the greatest, not ever. He doesn't utilize the upgrade bench. He does not sit there and try to max out his loot by any means. He takes what he can, and he rolls with the punches, and he rolls through the players. With that being said, and now we're hopping over to the other side of the landscape here. It's Link, and off to your right there, you see the format, guys. This is how the placement points get divvied out. So this next elim, a crucial one for a point here on the feed. And, of course, every elimination in good Fortnite fashion is worth 1 point.
Just got word that Teak was the other player there that is averaging more than 4 units for round number 2. As Shuzi is just unfortunately going to fall there. Link finding that sniper shot. Again, snipers have really been the story of this season as well. And just so many opportunities there. But Teak and Kazik as well was the other player there. Just absolutely dominating today as well. We saw Kazik pick up some dubs. I've seen him fall off just a little bit. We'll keep our eyes there. He may come back, made that, that last game run that everybody wants to see out of their favorite player. Thinking of someone who does need a run to get towards that top is Quavado. He was close around, I think, 13th place coming into this game, but he's playing very far into the zone, and there's someone on top of him who I don't think he was expecting anybody to be here.
And that guy jumps off, so this is giving Quavado the idea that, hey, I probably have to take this fight and finish it if I want to get out of here. For him to completely bail off of the boat now, and Quavado's like he's invested into this, looking for the wall control right now. The edit's going to come out, and yes, he's going to find the biggest shot. It's going to be the 44 piece from above, and now the flopper to get in, and now goes the crash pad. He connects even off the flick as well, the 180 turnaround. What a great shot from Quavado, and there it is, completely wrapping up Andy. And now Quavado has the siphon off of that as well, and the refresher to continue to push his way through this game.
Ending that so well and so quickly is exactly what he needed to do to get out of the zone and to get where he needs to be in the new zone. As we take a look over onto Stevie Stacks, and is relatively uncontested, right? He's got one player nearby kind of lurking. Looks like they're actually waiting a little bit, but his mats are not looking good. He has not found a lot of anything. His loadout looks fine, but what's really concerning is his mats. Luckily enough for him, he does have the stacks nearby. He can rotate really easy, but that's going to be a very big point of contention there for him. A point of contention for Benji is this fight that's going to happen there onto Forseki, as Benji is in a record-setting performance. He's in position to add to his record 12 top 5 FNCS placements, including incredible 5 first place finishes. That is insane. Shots coming through, but the record may have not just happened as he goes down.
The pressure was too much, and the record caves in. And just like that, Benji does not get to continue to push it through, but who knows? Maybe he can hold up. It's really a matter of what your other opponents are going to do. And, I mean, so far, the consistency has been there for the majority of the lobby. So it's looking like that's a no-go for Benji this time around. Regardless of what, though, here's your nice wide shot of the area and how the players are starting to take real estate here. You can see the clock tower being completely claimed by another player. That gives me the idea that the zone is definitely up in this northern portion. Here's Frey. There's Teak. So that means Teak is getting zone favor. And he is the champion. And he lands in this area. So this is looking like a game we're going to have to keep an eye out on Teak for. Frey, though, with a single elimination. I just wanted to also mention that we did see Henna live, right? We saw Henna live in Steamy Stacks. That made me think that it's possibly Tayson who's alive there as well. He is another passive player, so you're seeing two players with the same style share a location. I think that's how that's going to end up crumbling.
And a reminder, it's top 50 here today. So we're talking about the top players because that is where the upper echelon of money comes in, right? And the glory, right? Hey, I got first, like I'm the best. But top 50 gets you into the heats. Right now, that's sitting around 13, 18, that range there. If you see anybody above that, they're more than likely going to be good going into the heats, but they want to secure that there. As Frey fires one shot and he takes down Hin.
And the headshot at that. The headshot, the unfortunate job from Hen there, leaving himself exposed in a little bit of a battle, or maybe he just peeked out, looking down towards the enemy that was inside the house. Regardless of what, it was a pixel enough for Frey to pick it up. And let's not forget, guys, there's about a 10-way tie down for breaking into top 50. It's at 12 points, so the bubble is only 12 points. What you're looking at is your players that are looking relatively comfortable right now, but there's so much on the line for all these other players. Like we saw earlier, Clement falling, right? Who was just there or around that area. So regardless, here's Marine, 40 points, well in ahead of the competition into that top 10. He's up in the high atmosphere layers, trying to get his piece at first place again. He had such a great showing during the DreamHack finals that just recently unfolded against Teak, Mr. Savage, and all the other crew. Just showing that these guys are in top form right now in solos competition.
And Marine is the only player in the top 5 other than Rezon to be in this game. Every other one of them has been eliminated. We saw Savage, we saw Benji, we saw Hin go down. So right now it's looking like a victory game here for Rezon unless Marine is able to pop off and get an absolutely amazing game. Right now, Rezon's on top, and he's looking to stay that way. Teak, however, looking to topple that. Again, 36 points, so more than likely in qualification range. It's looking like 21 points is going to be where that is. And that's the biggest point to take home today. Again, top 50, move through. That is what these players are playing for to get to the heats. And then, of course, grand finals. Teak, however, is no stranger to this side of the map. During DreamHack, we saw him sit here and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. Because he knew where he was in the leaderboard. He knew Savage was on a fire. And so this time, doing it a little bit differently, playing from behind. But I would expect nothing less than a great game from him.
I do agree. And just to give you guys some names of players that are on the bubble here, we just got word from the back. It's a Nas, it's Flick, Karma, Styler, Carrots, Vastroki, right? These are competitive veterans. These are players we root for and love. So you have to keep your eye out on them as we continue to get these wide shots of players that are in the game right now. Here's a little replay, though. You can see exactly how that unfolded. I was questioning, how was it that Hen revealed himself to get tapped from behind? It's because he was sitting on top of that base. He was in a fight. And look at that, the huge shot, not covering and just above the ramp elevation right there. Just above. It was enough for Frey to see in and hit the single headshot from downrange.
Oh, that one hurts to see. He was just like a pixel above, and Frey was like, you know what? Well, that pixel's not supposed to be there, taking advantage of it as we see Mongraal down below, hiding a little bit. Seems like maybe playing on not as much mats here. He's up over 142 builds, so in a very good amount of mats, but playing very conservative with them. That's one of the things about Mongraal is that he does spend a lot more mats, I feel like, than the average player, because he's very, very good at building those builds, but got to be careful about not taking these mid-game fights and getting up. Again, he was in contention for those top spots, still is, and more than likely will qualify with the points that he's at. He makes a very easy rotation in his own, but he does have to be careful of the player above him as they are looking down on top of him. We see a nice wide shot of everybody nearby. Queasy is nearby there. I believe that's Woodsy up above him, as now we're transitioning over to see how players are rotating through the zone.
Absolutely, but here's Jerky on 33 points so far. He's played a relatively strong game of Fortnite today. 6 games have gone definitely in his favor as he's been in the running so far, making several end games and just being there when it matters most. Now at a single elimination here, the last opportunity, the last showcase for Jerky of the day here. Now he's vibing. He's got that launch pad. He's got those crash pads, and he's trying to make this rotate here to the 4th zone. The 4th zone is such an important one as well. Let's not forget that right after this, the more center you are, the more likely you are to catch the next half in, half out. It looks like Jerky's got a serious situation on his hands here. Not only is he on the storm line, but he's just gotten tagged from someone behind him who's going full psycho mode. He has to launch pad, and gets tagged in the air and taken out. Just like that, his run, his last game is all over.
And Jerky's been all over the map. First game, he had 6th place. Second game, it was a 33rd. Next game was an 81st. Next game was a 63rd. And right now, getting a 53rd. So he's kind of been up and down. He's got his high moments. He's had his low moments. So a relatively great day for him. He's going to more than likely be able to get that top 15 threshold. We do, however, move back over to someone who will be, I think, in that top 20 or 50, rather, maybe even top 20. Could be in top 10 is Mongraal. We've talked about his aim with this Mythic Burst Rifle. It is so insane. And I honestly think the burst rifles are better this season with the one less round of the burst, because you're able to recorrect so much quicker after that initial burst. And I think for someone like Mongraal, that really pays off, because his aim is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, let's not forget, you get a little bit more zoom capability with that higher fire rate to trade off. So it is very good. But either way, it's not going to help you in the box fight. Doesn't look like Mongraal's going to need it. The tack attack is going to be enough to bail him out on a 2 HP save. And just like that, he has 52 HP. And that bottomless chug jug from Ocean's Mythic side of the loot there is going to go ahead and fill and cap him off. We're seeing how this can come in handy in the mid game right now. There's not a lot of opportunities. You'll find 15 seconds to pop it, but this is one of those rare circumstances where it is the perfect solution for getting tagged down. And now he has the opportunity here to trade it out, potentially for floppers. I saw in the inventory loot right there. Here's a player on the bubble. Carrot, who's sitting next to Reason, the first place in the day 1 opens right now in this qualifier here. This is not looking too good for Carrot. I think he's in such a scary position to be in right now.
He is no longer the coolest Carrot right now. He's in
oh my gosh.
bad spot. Actually, all of a sudden in a good spot. He's taking down number 1, Rezon. In a bad spot, the crash pad coming through. He does get out for the time being, changing layers, but he's in a very bad angle. Ooh, and a nice edit. Gonna save him for now. Carrot on the other side. Those shots gonna stall out here. He needs to try to pop some minis. That insert being made here. He's trying to box up and just change as many layers as he can to put as much material in between him and his opponent. And for now, he is going to be able to get out. That looked very scary for a minute there. Rezon, though, has been in this situation before. Low ground, low mats, low ammo, low shield. And he's made it out, so we'll see if he's going to be able to do it again.
Carrot is looking at Reason with complete envy here, who has 62 points in him. Just in the teens now, who needs this elimination. It's up to Reason, though, if he wants to play spoiler or not, depending on how good his shot is right now, which, as we've seen today, has been very deadly, is going to be the determining factor for any of these players that are fighting right now. But wait, another big tag is going to work against Reason here, and Reason's going to go on the counter offense. No, it's not going to be enough, and now has to back up here. Out of hard material, so forced to recycle back into the metal builds of his previous. And yes, he wants to escape. Finds a launch pad, and Reason has another opportunity here to get away. He lands inside the box with the charge, but no, it's not going to be enough. He gets absolutely demolished by Marine. That was the wrong box to land in on, and now Marine has the opportunity to continue to earn his way up the top, right? We talked about it. If you're in top 5, a Victory Royale can secure you first place if Reason goes down, and Marine made this possible for himself and only himself now in this endgame.
What a play there. He made it possible, but with that little HP, I am very worried. However, I'm not worried about Teak, whose crash pads are coming through. The crash pad threw him all the way down to low ground. What a perfect usage of it there. The charge shotgun not going to connect, though, hoping it did, but now on low ground has time to wait. We do see Mick going down there to Vadil. Teak, though, low ground, trying to find anything that they can. Any extra loot, any extra elimination. He's actually going to take down Marine.
Wow.
The zone, and I think that's secured first place there for Rezon here today.
Let's talk about this. Anas lighting someone up in the feed there. Carrot as well. These are 2 players on the cusp of qualification. Those could be very well the elims that they needed to make their way through the finals day. Let's see, though. It's Mongraal on the other side. As we see, he traded out nothing. He ended up keeping the infinite Chug Jug here and the peppers, because you can see the steam coming out of his ears right now, valuing the Chug Jug even in the end game like this when you think he wouldn't. Let's see how this is going to play out now. 40 points for Mongraal. He needs to do something big or go home now. Let's see it, though. Playing this back edge now. 9 builds remaining. You can see it's a desperate situation for the Mongraal. Okay, one more, though. Someone ends up putting a wall behind him as well. This is not his This is not his base, Clay. This is not his area. He has to work his way through these enemy builds. He's just trying to stay on the backside. Here it is. Someone finally walks in. It's not going to be enough. He gets traded out by Nate. And Nate finds himself the 40th point there now as he approaches this endgame.
And unfortunately, that's the issue with taking a burst rifle as your swap weapon. When you use a charged shotgun, it's just so hard to hit the shots, especially while he's peppered. It was just too hard to track. His Saboteur is going to fall. We see Quavado there as well. Anas there in your screen. Link has been popping off. Rezumi will fall. I think Link sitting on 3, 4, 5 eliminations right now, has been playing very, very well. M10 Legends, who's we've barely seen on your screen, but has been popping off. 34 points is nothing to scoff at there. Has gotten a lot. This game is shot. Gonna come through. Superior's gonna go down. There's another player right there. The Peanut Butter Peak going back and forth. Legends is gonna be a legend, and he takes down Anas. This is a great run here for them. Will more than likely put them in that top 50 threshold that they need to move on to heats. The zone is closing. This is the last zone there. And look at the top. It's Tayson. We haven't seen much of him today, but he holds the high ground. Coolest carry. Getting shockwave to zone. Link going into zone. Everybody is going into zone. They're all fighting in zone. The only person in zone is Tayson and Vevi. Everybody is fighting outside. Coolest carrot going up. Shockwave being used. Tayson does no longer have the high ground as carrot there, but the piece control was so beautiful. The shockwave came out. He's out. Tayson looking to get the last elimination. Vevi with the crouch there is going to be able to pick it up. Vevi with the last game picks up the Victory Royale with 6 eliminations.